Hello and welcome to Dad's Ad Job podcast, and welcome to episode 2 with your host Adam Leatherbarrow, Rob Horton and Callum Horton. Lads, how are we getting on?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I've had a good week.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, great week. Let's talk. Are we all ready to talk about the football?
Oh, it's been a good week, hasn't it? I was so happy that the football was back.
Why are you not ready to talk about the football, Adam? Should we start with you, or why do you seem nervous?
No, we'll talk about it later.
You're trying to delay the inevitable, Adam? Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much. On all fronts, I think. Yeah.
I feel like you've got a few things you need to iron out. Do you want to talk about it? Yeah.
Yeah, later. later. Okay, so do you want to talk about this week's family goals and own goals, Rob? What did you get up to this week?
Yeah, I had a really nice week actually. Not too much to complain about. Lots of goals actually. I hosted a family barbecue this weekend. I had most of the family over, and that was pretty nice to be able to do. It started off as a small thing, but as I talk more and more about my mother on this podcast, you will find that if there's something going on...
What's going on?
Well, the podcast was going on. What's going on? And basically, I ended up feeding half the bloodline. So that was a great goal. But it was also an own goal because then I had to stand in front of the barbecue for about 4 hours. So that was pretty rough going. But it was very nice because I had family from Australia over. So Kelly's sister is over from Australia. She's an executive chef over there. And we also had my uncle and auntie who live in Australia also. And then we had extended family from Austria over as well. So that was it was a massive. It was actually a really big event. It was really good to be able to host. So that was my goal. That was one of my goals.
It needs to remortgage now, though.
I know, I'm broke. I'm definitely broke. Although people left lots of Prosecco and champagne, so that's been quite nice drinking this week.
Yeah, didn't you have a bottle before this podcast?
I did. Me and my wife enjoyed a lovely bottle of leftover Prosecco, so that was pretty good as well. The own goal was having to cook it, and then the final one, it's another goal. But I managed to get tickets for me and my son Danny to be able to go and watch Nottingham Forest in November. It's going to be his first Premier League game. I'm super excited about that. The irony is I think my first Premier League game was actually Nottingham Forest as well back in the day. And it was actually, it's quite poignant because it was his funeral last week just before the Premier League season kicked off. But we had just sold Kevin Campbell to Nottingham Forest, and he scored the goal that made it a draw in that game.
That's weird. A bit of a sliding doors moment, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Say sliding doors, full circle. How it's gone full circle, isn't it? Like,
yeah. So I'm really excited for him that his first game is going to be against Forest as well, and yeah, it just feels like a win this week for me. So I'm really pleased. Lovely week.
Decent. And Cal, I think we've shared the same family goals this week, haven't we?
Well, I'll let you talk about that, and then I'll jump in on you when you talk about it. But for me, it was I took Bo to Legoland. So you can, every dad's dream that is, isn't it? Going to a park. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. In the sense of
it's for the bricks, though, isn't it? It's for the bricks.
Yeah.
Proper bricks.
Yeah.
Proper bricks.
Well, saying that, I think Bo bricked it in the sense of, well, he's never been on a bloody ride before, has he? And so we're queuing up for this ride. And to be fair, I'm watching this ride thinking, oh my God, H is my wife. It's like, are we actually going to take Bo on this ride?
The geezer from Steps?
So you're very brave saying that. I'll pour in here, mate.
How many people were in front of you in the queue? 5, 6, 7 or 8?
Mate,
that's a tragedy. That is right there.
I've had too many wines to be dealing with this. So we're taking Bo on this ride, and this ride is fast.
Rob's broken right now.
Listen,
he's curled up in the corner.
You've got a deep shade of blue.
No. I'm gonna
have another sip of wine.
What colour's that?
Red.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a deeper shade of blue.
So we're queuing up. Can I tell my story now?
You can tell your story. Sorry.
All behaving now, lads. Yeah,
I'm good.
Okay. So yeah, we're queuing up for this ride, and this ride's fast.
Cal, better the devil you know, right?
The trouble is, I don't know enough songs.
That's
to
a bit
play
sad that
along.
we know more step songs than we do the Four Non-Blondes. Well, more for me, but
I know one Four Non-Blonde song.
Yeah, so do I.
That's-
What's
going on?
the only one that matters.
That's it.
sorry, Cal, we're interrupting you. Go on,
No,
mate.
that's all right.
That's not fair.
So, how's your car though? Yeah. So yeah, we came up for this ride. This ride's like proper fast. I'm sort of thinking, is this the right thing to do? But anyway, we get on this ride. Bo absolutely starts screaming. I mean, like literally, like out of his nut screaming. The ride starts. He goes into shock. Like no, he goes into shock. Literally, the poor kid can't speak. Like literally cannot speak, Adam. And I'm being pushed from like side to side. Even I'm like thinking, oh my god, I'm getting a little bit like motion sickness here. Anyway, the plus side of it, when we got off, even though he was absolutely screaming before we got on, then went into shock. Once we got off, the joy. Oh my god, he was so proud of himself. I promise you, he's never cuddled me with such like love, because he was so proud of himself. Like obviously we made a big deal of it, and obviously like my mum and dad, like our mum and dad were there, afterwards, and we were all cheering him as he got off. But he was so proud of himself. Like I can just imagine that as he gets older in different other moments. But he was like, yeah, it was magical. That is probably the highlight. That, well, out of a lot of things that he's done, he was so. Even my wife, like, even Heather was like, I've never seen him so proud of himself. It was like magical, proper magical. But yeah.
Can I just add as well? That's quite nice though, because last week you were talking about confidence.
Yeah,
weren't
confidence.
you?
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, you could see it just absolutely boosting. Like, it was magical. Yeah, that's the only word I can say. Magical.
Nice.
The aftermath. Yeah,
That's nice. They say that your boy seems to be growing in confidence as every experience happens, right? So
yeah, because like I say, like last week, I was generally actually quite concerned. I know I brought it up and mentioned it. I think all of us want our kids to be. Everyone wants their kids to be confident, and for him to be, let's be honest, in a nice way, forced to go on something, but then him to get that reaction after it was special, really special, and hopefully, like I say, he keeps moving that direction. So,
yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, when you're talking about building confidence, I mean, my daughter, I wish she had less because she's just. She's hard work. Like, I love her to bits, but she's hard work, and I can't deal with it. It's so hard because she's just everything's just no. Like saying about the terrible twos all the time, and it got to about 2.5 about like June, July time, and she's still not kicked up a strop or anything. But past couple of months, she's been, proper testing, very very testing. But she does it with a smile on her face so that you can't get angry with her. Like one of the family goals is obviously upgrading your car to something that's a bit bigger. So to put your daughter in and put your 36 kilo Basset Hound in the boot. But obviously Kerry needs something a bit more comfortable to drive in. So we went around looking for cars, and so obviously. Any word of advice to parents out there with kids? If you're looking at getting a car, don't take your kids with you. Don't take them if you want, because it is a nightmare. Connie was wanted to get in the driver's seat, so get in the driver's seat. So me and Kerry are looking. I'm looking at Connie and looking at the driver's bit, and Kerry's looking around the other side, and all I hear is a me, me. I'm like, Connie, don't do that. She's looking at me. Sorry, Daddy. Me. I'm like, don't press the horn. Me. Saying honestly, and I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm so embarrassed. And the geezer's laughing at me. He's like, oh, she's tested, isn't she? And I went, yeah. I said, she's not. Is she okay for part exchange? Like, can I get rid of her? But then I told her to stop pressing the horns, and then she's got, right, okay, I want to go on the passenger side. So she goes, sits there. I want to put seatbelt on. I put the seatbelt on. I want the seatbelt off. I want to go into the back. So she's climbing over, and this car has got like Connie's footprints all over all the leather. And I'm like, oh no, there's fingerprints on the window and everything. I'm like, oh my god. So we ended up getting the car because of the amount of damage that she's put on it. But that was a nice family goal, but a very testing own goal whilst trying to purchase it. So
would you say that after that experience you were one for sorrow, or was it more like an experience that was better best forgotten?
Is this another step?
Both steps references. Do better, Adam.
You do really. Oh man.
So that was a positive experience this week, was it?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's positive. Yeah, 'cause
Blimey.
although as testing and frustrating as it is,
And it's cost you a lot of money.
and it's cost an arm and a leg. Yeah, it's cost an arm and a leg, but it's all for a good purpose. So it's an improvement. So but then I've just found out before this pod that Cal's got exactly the same car as me.
Yeah, we're both picking up the same car tomorrow. What time's your pickup?
1 o'clock.
Oh no, mine's 10. So technically, I got it before you.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Why are you copying my brother? That's
Yeah,
weird.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't write my car off to get a new one.
Do you want to speak to my lawyer about that, please?
You'll have to speak to his lawyer.
Right, JJ.
Sorry, I just want to clarify to listeners. It wasn't my fault. Yeah? No, I got crashed into.
I weren't H from steps again, was it?
It wasn't my fault this time.
So we both get the same car. We won't go say what it is because we've got so many followers now. We don't want them for tracking our car. So yeah. So the own goal, and it's more of a rant, I think, and I think you guys could probably relate to this. But after the going and get the car, we took Connie for McDonald's. Thought like get her something to eat, get her some dinner and stuff.
Nice healthy eating.
Yeah. Look, a happy child is a fed child. We can try and force hummus and cucumber down them as much as we want, but they ain't eating it. Plain burger, chips, and fruit shoot. But what on earth is going on with these Happy Meal toys? Have you seen them?
Was it Despicable Me this week?
It's Despicable Me 4, right? But Connie's got about 7 tins over the past 5-6 weeks, right?
I just put them straight in the recycling bin, mate.
Mate, you can't recycle these. They're metal. They're metal tins, right? Honestly, I'm picking up a Happy Meal. I'm getting a burger, chips, fruit shoot, and it looks like a pack of Golden Virginia because that's what the tins look like. I'm going to put a load of roll-ups in there.
The question I have for you, though, is did they make you pull up and wait? Because that is the McDonald's experience now.
We walk in.
Oh, right, mate.
Yeah.
You drive in. Can you just go and park up, please? I'm like, mate, I ordered a cappuccino. What's the issue? McDonald's has fallen off this
They've
year.
got to milk the cow, haven't they?
It's been so bad.
On another note, though, the double. Oh, not for you, you're vegetarian, but the double Big Mac meal. Mate,
Hold on. That's a bombshell there. Not a lot of listeners know that Rob is a vegetarian. You might have just threw off a lot of our fan base here.
Why are you out me in front of everyone?
Yeah, especially the listeners in Texas where they're like heavy on the cow steaks. And
That's right.
now we've got cauliflower steaks. So
Right.
sorry, guys.
Those buffalo cauliflower hot wings are something different. Don't you worry about it.
Go on, Cal. Sorry.
Yeah, then the double Big Mac meal is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah. Oh, it's so
double
good.
Big Mac with bacon.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely
How
lovely.
messy is that to eat though?
No, what I do is I don't know. It's a bit cowardly. I break it into two
Cowardly.
burgers. Cowardly. Yeah.
Cowardly.
Is that not a word?
No, it is a word, but it's cowardly. It's good.
Cowardly with your name in it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And also with the
You
burgers.
can hashtag that if you want. But yeah. So yeah.
Dad's had job on Fred's. That cow is now running. So that's his responsibility of our trio.
Yeah. So please follow. So Adam, don't get on my case and tell me off, please.
But those they ain't toys, are they? Happy
No.
Meal. They are not toys. I mean, I'm not being funny. She had it was a box, and then the tin was wrapped in tissue in the box, and then inside the tin was 3 bits of paper. One of them was stickers, 2 stickers. One of them was a page to put the stickers on, and the other page was a QR code for a game on your phone. My daughter's 2.5 years old. She's not going to want to play a Minions Despicable Me game on my phone. She's not that way engrossed in technology yet. So it's such a waste of McDonald's, if you're listening, up your toy game, please. Remember the toys that we used to have when it was a Happy Meal.
They kind of peaked with do you remember the hamburger robber guy?
Yeah.
And it was like
Hamburglar.
Hamburglar, that's right. And he was literally like you could. It It was like do you remember like the early Transformers toys?
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that they were dishing out to us.
Yeah.
They were great toys. I bet they go for a mint right now. But I kind of feel like they peaked when they started dropping Roald Dahl books. I'm a bit of a book reader, so I'm probably biased on this. But like when they started dropping Roald Dahl books as part of the Happy Meals, I thought they were like the best things that McDonald's did.
They do. When you order it, you can either get a toy or a book. But a lot of the books are always, just, like say, it's Despicable Me book. Yeah, it's just franchisey. But if they had the just trying to think of a book now, like a Julia Robertson sort of book attached to Happy Meal, I'd probably get it because she loves Julia Robertson. So but
Junior Donaldson.
Yeah, that one.
do you want another beer?
You can
I love Julia Robertson. She's great.
Yeah, Julia Robertson. That's the actress, isn't it?
No, Julia Roberts.
I did the swear word out.
Yeah. This has been a write-off, hasn't it?
Julia Donaldson. Yeah. So Stickman, Superworm, Gruffalo. Great books.
Absolutely.
Tabby McTat. Yeah.
And they did the video. They did a film version of that for Christmas a couple of
years
back,
they
didn't
do
they?
it every year, don't they?
Yeah, I love them.
Snail and the Whale.
They are so good.
Yeah,
they are
Highway
seriously
Rat.
so good. The Highway Rat is probably the most popular one in our house, actually.
Yeah.
So good, the Highway Rat.
Yeah, Bo loves it, to be fair.
Yeah. They are good, aren't they? They are good. Well done, Junior Donaldson. Thank you.
Yeah, Julia Donaldson.
You did great.
Our kids love it.
And Axel Schaefer, who's the artist.
The artist, yeah.
There you go.
Great stuff.
I'll expect my free book soon from Julia Robertson. Okay, so we'll dip straight in to the review of the Premier League game week 1. So, guys, what's your thoughts over the first weekend? It was quite a good weekend of football, I thought, actually.
You want to start on this one? I'll start the last one.
Yeah, should we start ripping into Man United or?
We can start with Man United.
Do you want to start with Man United?
If you want, mate. Yeah.
So, if you all remember, I put Fulham as relegation battlers, and to be fair,
with Emil Smith Rowe as their record transfer.
Yeah, and I put them down as being relegated, and the gaffer being sacked, first gaffer sacked, and to be fair, they really took it to Man United, and I think Man United were well lucky to get out of that game with the 3 points. And no, I said Man United wouldn't do anything this year. I think I did in top 6. Yeah, I didn't even have them as top 6, and now I'm thinking, I could be onto a winner here.
Yeah,
I think they are going to struggle massively, and their setup, the way they played, the structure, they didn't look exciting. The fans started getting onto them very quickly. I generally think that again they're in trouble, and they are still where Arsenal were going through that transition period. Where Arsenal were when they let go of obviously Arsene Wenger. Obviously they've got Ferguson, but they're still going through that pattern of trying to work out what they're going to do going forward.
This is their 6th manager since Ferguson, isn't it?
But it's been like a continuous rinse and repeat for Man United. I agree with you, Cal. But as much as I thought Fulham were okay, I actually thought both teams were quite poor. And I think there's more to come from Fulham. And they've made some good signings. They've signed the Crystal Palace centre-back this week as well, haven't they?
Anderson, yeah.
Anderson.
He used to play for him. He was on loan.
They've signed him back, haven't they?
Yeah.
So I actually think Fulham will be okay. But I do think both teams were poor. I think that in the first half, Fulham were pegging Man United back and were playing some good football. I know what you're thinking. Be quiet. And I thought Emil Smith Rowe had moments, but he also looked like a player who hadn't played 90 minutes in about 18 months.
Yeah,
and so you could really see that. And I didn't really see a lot that told me any different from Man United. I thought Harry Maguire has looked like he has done over the last 2-3 years. Much maligned, but probably not respected enough. I thought Lisandro Martinez looked all right. I was actually most impressed by their new right back. I don't want to embarrass myself by trying to say his name, but is it
Mazraoui?
Mazraoui. I thought he was the pick of the Man United players, actually. He did go off I think for like a tactical change, maybe lack of fitness or whatever. I actually think he'd be quite a good FPL pick as well, by the way. But I thought he was the pick of the Man United players, and I didn't really see anything else. Casemiro had flashes, but again, first half mostly, didn't really do much after that. I thought Mainu showed what he was, which is a fantastic player to add, by the way. But he's one of those ones who's a bit like, I suppose, like early doors Saka. Everyone was really excited about him, but we didn't know where he was going to go. And, I think Mainu's got a massively high ceiling, but he's still, he's still got a lot of growing to do. And then you just look at Man United going forward, and it doesn't really look like there's probably a plan. I just can't see the plan. Mm-hmm. Like when I look at Liverpool, when I look at Man City, or when I look at Arsenal, or even when I look at Newcastle, I can see there's something that's meant to be happening, right? I just can't see the same when I watch Man United. It looks like we're going to try and get the ball forward and score, but that's the principle of football, so I don't think it really counts.
I don't want to rip in. I've been quite harsh with Man United saying that how poor they were, and I think rightly so, and they stole it. But I think it brings to head what Ten Hag said about not being ready. He come out before the game and said that they're a week off, or a couple of weeks off where they should be, and they looked like it, didn't they? Let's be honest. And ultimately, if he's saying that, potentially there's more to come, and there probably is. But I would be worried if I was a Man United fan. I would be massively worried. Even if they are, why can I? Throwing it out there, why are they? Not ready for the start of the season. And I know you can arguably say, they've had, we've had the competition during the summer and players being off and so on. But
so everyone else.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I know there's players that are not going to be 100%, but they should be there or thereabouts, and they just didn't seem to have anything. I don't think they had enough oomph in them where I'd be going, yeah, do you know what, they're not 100%, but you could see where they're going. I didn't get that at all. What do you think about that, Adam?
Well, I predicted them to win the league last week. I think the Project Ten Hag, Project Ajax United is well underway. I think they'll do all right. I think they'll do a lot better than what people are making them out to be. And I think some people are forgetting that Ten Hag has won 2 trophies for Man United in the past 2 seasons, despite
good shout. That's a good shout.
Yeah. So he's delivered. I think he's the only manager that's delivered more trophies other than Pep in the past 3 years or something. So I'm not going to be too harsh on them, because they're a Goliath club, and I think especially with the transfer window ending next week, there could be still some signings and that to be made. I mean, they're after that Ugarte still for centre mid, and they're looking to shift McTominay out.
That's what I was going to say to you. Like, there's still a lot of dead weight there that could go. And it only takes a couple of people to not be in a room to completely change the dynamic of something as well. So if you look at a Sancho going, or maybe even on an outside better Rashford, you might see a completely different dressing room, which would bring about a completely different culture.
Yeah,
and I was critical, but I do think Erik Ten Hag is the right person to manage Man United.
Yeah, he just needs time, doesn't he? Because I think that's something that managers don't seem to get nowadays, and I think I'm quite surprised that he's still there. Because if it was any other manager, like they sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was the only one that got him to second place for the Man United squad,
and Jose.
And Jose, but I think in consideration of Pep Guardiola in the mix, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a bit underappreciated.
Agreed.
But again, I'm not a Man United fan, so they would know a lot more in-depth sort of issues than me. But from the outside, I would have gave Ollie more time, because I think he was getting the best out of the youngsters. But go on.
Well, they've got Brighton next. On Saturday, on Saturday they got Brighton, and Brighton absolutely demolished Everton 3-0.
Yeah, it's a poor Everton side though. They've only got 14 fit
That's right.
first team players.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually with you, Adam. I think I'm surprised he's still there. Not because I think he should have gone. I'm just surprised. But then at the same time, you could say the same thing about Arteta.
Yeah.
Because he was given time where others thought he would go, and look at what he's cooking, right? And you know, success looks like different things to different people, and that's fine. For me, I think Arteta, we have fallen so well on our feet, right? But if we are going on the most basic analysis, Erik ten Hag has delivered 2 trophies. Arteta has delivered 1 and a Community Shield. So I think
that's 2 trophies, mate. Also, can I just throw it out there? Arteta signed a contract, mate. Please.
I think it's pretty much done. To be fair.
You wouldn't expect him to go back to PSG and manage them?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. No, I mean, I could see. I think he will end up wanting to manage Barcelona. That is what I think he will want. But I think right now he is doing all the things that is going to create.
Yeah, I can't see him leaving anytime soon. He's got everything he wants in a job, hasn't he? Like he's gonna, like I say, last year's. I'll keep bringing it up, but he's gone and bought Declan Rice for 105 million because he can, and yeah, you could go PSG, but who's your competition? I think Premier League's the best and most competitive league in the world, but
also he can't spend 105 million at Barcelona, can he?
No, he can't. No. They can't spend 105 quid.
But he's earned that. He's earned that. Yeah. Like he is complete. Obviously, we're both massive Arsenal fans, but the whole aura around Arsenal, I mean, he has changed that. The fans, the singing. Like I always say, and I don't want to talk about Arsenal. I do want to talk about Arsenal, but you know, I always believe when we were brought up, it was Highbury Library, and you know, there's no atmosphere, and it's almost like our generation now has been able to get them tickets, them season tickets, and be able to get into them stadiums. And go, right, do you know what? We're not having it no more, because do you know what? We want to sing, we want to support our team, you know, and I think he has come in and just lit the flame underneath everyone and gone, right, here we go, let's rally everyone.
When you mean lit the flame, do you mean lit the light bulb? Have you seen that?
You turn a switch for a light bulb, don't you? You flick a switch.
I thought this was another Step song. I was wondering where we're going. I don't know this Step song.
No, have you not seen that video doing the rounds of Arteta doing the
I know
in the changing room, and he gets a light
about.
bulb out of a bag or something and lights it, and he goes, "Oh, we all need to be together to make the light bulb work." It's like,
talk about the Amazon.
No, it only takes one person to change a light bulb, doesn't it? Like,
do you know what? Team. A lot of people are going around saying it's cringe, but like a lot of the methods.
It is cringe.
The thing is, though,
it is cringe.
Fine, that's fine, but
I can't imagine David Moyes doing that at West Ham last year.
Well, that's why West Ham finished where they finished.
He put up a wall,
like
that long a light bulb.
A lot of the methods he is using are methods that have been tried and tested and proven to like improve.
It's the psychological game. That gets under it. I'll get that. I do get that. Yeah,
but it's cheesy if
don't
you're not
post it on Twitter.
I think the problem is it's cheesy if you're not in it. If you're in it and you buy into everything,
I just don't see the necessity to publicise that you're doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody needs to know any analogy or any motivation in the changing room. Nobody needs to see that. But you're getting companies like Amazon doing everything or nothing series, and they're documenting that all the time, and I think it's just a bit of exposure that comes under criticism, doesn't it?
Adam,
go on, mate.
This is exactly why it needs to be done and being shown, because you know what? Arsenal fans are sitting there going, what a god, what an absolute legend, and then there's West Ham fans going, can't stand it, mate. Yeah, I hate it. Why is he doing it for? And this is exactly why.
It's not just West Ham. It's the other 18 clubs.
Do you know what?
West Ham.
Do you know what? Me and Rob are sitting here. We are sitting here going, I love it.
No, do you know what?
Freaking love it.
I'm sitting here going, there's fucking avids.
Take the handbrake off.
Well, Arteta's at the wheel, is he? Everyone that says that, they're cursed, aren't they? So, okay, well, keeping on the Arsenal topic then, we're going into the results. So you beat Wolves 2-0.
I know that we've just been like fanboying Arsenal for the last 2 or 3 minutes, but I actually don't think Arsenal were great at the weekend. I think we got a good result. I thought Saliba and Gabriel were shaky. And, you know, maybe it's a little bit of ring rust going back into high competition. All the teams in the Premier League are good, apart from Tottenham. And
Oh, it's
We
not,
will-
it's not entirely fair.
I've got to say what I've got to say. And
They were average for 60 minutes, and then they fell on their backsides in the last 30.
we'll come to them. But yeah, and I do think Gabriel and Saliba were shaky. I do think in the centre of midfield we were a little bit complacent. I thought Rayo was fantastic, and I want to say it because me and Callum were talking about it earlier. That save that he pulled off where he had to come back on himself, and,
Yeah, I did see that, yeah.
it reminded me of the David Seaman save from
Again,
back in the
Paul
day,
Pesky Salido,
When-
FA Cup semi-final.
and he just yanked it off the line. And that David Seaman save is my favourite save in my lifetime. It's the one that I can remember the most.
And how old was he at that time?
He was older. Yeah, he was. You're right.
Yeah.
He was ponytail David Seaman, so he was older.
Yeah.
And it was like, as I say, for me and Callum, because Callum was a goalkeeper. He'll tell you about that in his own time. But that was iconic for us, and it just reminded me of that kind of like I'm him, you know. So, and especially because of some of the negative press that Rayo has had because of, oh well, you know, he only got the Golden Glove because of who he had in front of him. But he showed some real quality there, and alongside Havertz, Odegaard, and Saka, I think they were our standout performers.
Yeah.
And I honestly think they saved the game for us actually, because I don't think we were that good. But teams that win leagues win games when they aren't good, and you just have to chalk it up to one of them games, and hopefully we'll be better against Villa. And we have to go big against Villa because they're going to be buoyed. Martinez, probably top 2, 3, 4 goalkeepers in the world right now, has just extended his stay at Aston Villa. They're all very excited. We need to go big, and we need those players to step up on the weekend when we're away.
Yeah, that's right. I must admit, I was a bit. Obviously, West Ham lost 2-1 to Villa at the weekend.
What was the score?
2-1 to Villa
Okay.
at the weekend. And to be completely honest, like I think looking at the fixtures now, like, you know, Liverpool 2-0, Nottingham Forest 1-1 with Bournemouth, Newcastle 1-0, Everton probably the standout losers of the weekend, losing to Brighton for 3-0. Man City beating Chelsea 2-0, and Brentford beating Palace 2-1, Leicester drawing with Spurs 1-0. But with West Ham, I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't take advantage of that game more. And I think looking at the overall of the fixtures, it seemed there was a general feel of a lot of... Sorry, Callum's just going to the toilet whilst we're here. There's a general feel a lot of clubs are holding back on the first opening, and I think we're going to see that again over the next few weeks until the transfer window's under wraps and you've got the international break after the first few games. So I think there's going to be a lot of teams playing at half pace, just so that they're not losing points very early on in the season. I mean, going back to the West Ham loss, I think if we avoided the mistake that we made in the first 4 to 5 minutes where we gifted them a corner from absolutely nothing, no pressure, a back pass that went wrong, bounced off Suche. It was an error by the Czech boys. Gifted them a corner, and then there was just poor marking in the box for Onana to pop up and score after 4 minutes. And I think other than that, I think we was quite even with Aston Villa throughout the rest of the game. And in typical West Ham way, we've been linked with a striker all summer, Duran, having bids knocked back left, right, and centre. We matched their valuation, and Aston Villa go, no, we want more money. And then he comes on as a sub for Ollie Watkins and scores the winner. And it's just typical West Ham way. But who knows what's going to happen by next Friday when the transfer window closes, that he could probably sign for West Ham on loan. You know, it's that sort of... it's just typical. They've nicked the points of us. I'm saying nicked the points. They did deserve the win, but that is more down to the faults of our own. Go on.
Question, Adam. Would you have started all your new signings? 'Cause I know you brought them on towards the end.
I think that's part of me feels he's done it on purpose because we still need reinforcements. I mean, there's a lot of Moyes type players there, and I've been listening to quite a few YouTube channels like West Ham Network, and they're very, very clear in saying that despite the pre-season and playing under a new manager, as soon as you start and you've been playing that way for the past 3 to 4 seasons under Moyes, it's auto setting. You're auto switched on. Antonio's been in pre-season to be more centrally positioned. Goes in the game, drifts out wide. We've bought Fulkrug, who is predominantly a centrally based striker, doesn't drift out wide, stays there, gets the goals from those positions. Antonio's being retrained to play that way, and he's still doing the stuff, like reverting to type, what he knows, what he's been taught to play the hard way for a scrap. And we don't need to play that way anymore. So it's a lot of a learning curve for the existing players, but it's not so much a learning curve for the new players. But there's a lot of positive signs. Sadibo came on, looked very, very comfortable. Somerville come on, looks really good. Fulkrug, he was a bit out of place a little bit, but again, he wasn't getting the ball, wasn't getting a lot of the possession on it, so he couldn't really do anything with it. But it's early days. I don't think we're going to really find out about clubs until at least game week 5, and then they'll start to see whether the momentum picks up or drops off from that.
I think you got to remember you are playing Aston Villa, who obviously had a fantastic season.
I did forget
that. Yeah, I mean, but let's
that.
be honest, they had a fantastic season last year, and they're still riding off that. We've all expected them to be in and around that top 6.
Yeah,
they're all in that prediction. So, I know.
I must admit, I did underestimate them. I did underestimate them quite a bit in my prediction, but who knows? It's game week 1. There's 37 game weeks left. Who knows what's going to happen?
The thing is, you got Crystal Palace next, which is obviously it's a London derby, but also
got no defence now.
No, I mean
Mark Gay, he's head's turned. He wants to go to Newcastle. Just sold Anderson.
I think they got big problems. I mean, last year.
I don't know. I know they lost against Brentford at the weekend, and really they should have drew because of the VAR, the disallowed goal. We won't touch on that this week in terms of VAR issues, but I like the manager that they've got, Glasner, and I've seen what he's done for Frankfurt. I've seen it firsthand as a West Ham fan, being on the other end of a Frankfurt defeat twice in Europe. So I know he's going to do okay. He's going to get his players in. He's got another week and a bit to go. He'll have a bit of money to spend, and I think he'll be okay. Because
they just sold Ayew as well, didn't they? So they've just and by the way, Jordan Ayew's gone, is he? Gone. Apparently, an agreement, 8 million. 8 million for a 32-year-old is some good business, by the way. And they've sold a lot of players.
He's always been that player. Like when I look at certain players, I always tier them as to where the club is in the league. So I've always looked at bottom half ballers, right? So there's teams like Crystal Palace, Wolves, Nottingham Forest, and like you think they've got really good key players that always interact. Like Anthony Ananga's another one, Gibbs White, Mateus Cunha, and Jordan Ayew. They were the top. They were the top players in the bottom half of the league, and they're the ones that kind of get snapped up and then help elevate a top 10 club more. So yeah, where's he gone to?
Gone to Leicester.
Jordan's going to Leicester. That's a big signing for Leicester.
I agree with you, and I also think it's good business for Crystal Palace. But then also selfishly, as an Arsenal fan, if Arsenal do look to offload Nelson, that could be a potential pathway.
Hasn't he gone Leicester as well?
Who?
Reece Nelson.
No, they were showing interest. I
thought he was in the lineup.
No, he hasn't gone. I think they were put off by his wages, but I think there's a potential pathway because Crystal Palace has a lot of business.
Ben Nelson. Right. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, Reece Nelson is still obviously on the Arsenal books, and I don't know. Crystal Palace could be a natural pathway. Stays in London.
Sorry, just shout out to Ben Nelson, 20 years of age, born 18th of March 2004, completely different to the Arsenal Reece Nelson.
I just want to throw it out there. I know you say you don't want to talk about it this week, obviously VAR, but wouldn't it be interesting if Crystal Palace are in the relegation battle and we had this conversation at the end of the season about VAR and that goal?
Yes, same could be said for when Aston Villa avoided defeat against Sheffield United in the year that they avoided relegation because that was a VAR that wasn't working. A goal that was clear in favour of Sheffield United, but despite the video footage, they still did give them the goal, which effectively kept Aston Villa up. that mistake, and look where they are now.
Yeah.
So
I remember that. Yeah.
it is a very, it is a very, very tough decision to make, and it is a season maker.
Well, like I say, it'd be interesting to see where we are in the season. It might be something that we
right.
never talk about, but
right.
it might be something that we may have to address.
That's right. Okay, well,
can I just say one more thing about the fixtures?
Yeah, go on in.
I did not watch it, but I did listen to it, and I really enjoyed listening to the game that Ipswich played against Liverpool.
Oh, yes.
By the sounds of it, and I've predicted all of the promoted teams to go down. However, other than a Jamie Vardy rolling back the year's masterclass against Tottenham, which
fueled by Red Bull,
which are fueled by Red Bulls and things I love to see because I did watch that game.
Just to interrupt there, do you know how many cans of Red Bull Jamie Vardy has had in his career?
Oh yeah, no, it's every half time, isn't it?
9,500 cans of Red Bull.
He has 2 before he even plays.
Oh really?
He's having 3 a game or something.
9,500 cans of Red Bull, apparently.
That's too much taurine.
It's like,
he's got to get a sponsor, hasn't he?
As a vegetarian, that is too much taurine to be drinking.
I want to know what his heart
that
rate's
is not the Red Bull we're talking about.
That is what is in Red Bull, taurine. I'm not making any lies up about that. But aside from that, I really enjoyed listening to Ipswich against Liverpool and taking it. And I suppose what we should have expected, given they've been promoted 2 seasons on the bounce. But they took it to Liverpool and they made it very difficult for Liverpool. And the commentary that I was listening to on TalkSport was excellent. So you kind of like get you kind of get swept up in it, is what I'm trying to say. But I feel like we learned more about Ipswich bravery and what they're going to be doing over the next 37 games than we did about Liverpool, because Liverpool did Liverpool things. They won, and they won well with Salah doing Salah things. But I think Ipswich could be the pick of the promoted teams based on what.
Yeah, I've always thought that.
And I'm quite excited to see how their forwards going forward, especially when they've got Amari Hutchinson, ex-Chelsea, ex-Arsenal, and also the boy from Blackburn, forgot his name at the moment.
Sammy Smodics.
And then also the left back, I think
Steve Davis.
Right.
But they've just signed Liam Delap from Man City, and they've just agreed a deal for Armando Broja.
They have, haven't they? That's right. Along with a potential obligation, right?
And they've also got Calvin Phillips.
And they've also got Calvin Phillips. So I think Ipswich are quite exciting going forward, and they are our local team, Premier League team.
They would be, yeah.
And that's all great to know, guys, but they have got Man City next as well. So, unfortunately, I think that might be another 3 points dropped.
Do you know what, though? The wonderful thing about the Premier League is anything could happen, and there will be about 100,000 managers triple captaining Haaland this weekend.
That's true. And what's great about the Premier League is, guys, I've got you a little treat.
What's the treat?
Just ruffling the packet. I've got ourselves a Panini sticker book for this year.
Yes, you have.
It's sad, isn't it? 3 grown men. But we've got this for our kids, right? No, okay, right.
We're 35 years of age, most of us. Oh, do you, Rob?
I'm 37. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm 37. Yeah.
Oh, I'm the youngest one here.
Oh, this is for you then, Callum.
Oh, cheers. Thank you, lads.
Yeah, so I spontaneously bought us the Panini sticker book album. Just a bit of light-hearted, a bit of joke, but nostalgia, yeah. And if we get any doubles, we'd like to be interested in our followers if they could send some swapsies. Interested in swapsies, but no Tottenham ones, thanks. That'd be much appreciated. Yeah, sorry, Tottenham listeners.
I actually think the rule should be, because we're going to be opening these. I suppose we're going to get one each to open. I think the rule should be that if anyone draws a Tottenham sticker, they should have to sink their drink as punishment for drawing something so sacrilege.
Hold on a minute. Why is Luton Town in here?
By last year's one?
No. 2024 Premier League official sticker album 2024. It's got Luton in it.
You bought the wrong one, mate.
No, I haven't bought the wrong one. It says 2024.
Was it on sale?
Well, Give us a packet to
Yeah,
open.
let's see. I want to see who's on my packet. So basically, listeners.
We'll make sure. Well, the present I've bought is actually backfired by the sounds of it. But official sticker collection 2024. No, this is of this year. But it's of last season. This is full well on its face, isn't it?
So I'm guessing what the idea is that each week we get a pack, yeah, and we open our pack, and then we reveal what we got, or what's the score, Adam?
Yeah. So basically, what you do, yeah, we So
let's have a look.
Let's try and get this season's book. That'll be great because as soon as I opened it, Rob Edwards is in there.
Let's have a look. What's going on?
It's even got Deserby and Company still in it. Yeah, this is definitely the old one.
They've had you, mate.
They've had me. Sainsbury's.
Oh, can I just say I've got a shiny though? I've got a shiny. Do you want to know the shiny
You've
first?
got Zinchenko, mate.
Yeah, mate, and
Calvin Phillips in Man City garb.
Yeah.
I've got Nottingham Forest.
Zar. He's got a shiny.
Oh, but you know what, guys? I'm really happy with my pack. I've only got Ballon Dawson, haven't I?
I have, yeah, mate. I've only got Jarrod Bowen, Billy Gilmore.
No! Guess what I've got? Guess what sticker I've got?
He's only got the Tottenham badge. Danny Drink.
Tottenham badge.
I've got a Danny Drink,
Danny
son.
Drink.
This don't count. This is our season.
I don't get any shinies. I didn't get any shinies.
What are the odds on that? You know what? I'm going to take a picture of this and put this on Twitter.
Elanga.
I got a super signing, mate. Elanga.
Mate, you messed up.
Oh man! Not only have I bought last season's Panini album, I've also got the Tottenham shiny sticker. If anyone wants the Tottenham shiny sticker, they're welcome.
Have you seen the?
We like to drink with Adam because Adam is our mate. Come on, you got Danny Drink.
Has anyone seen the new Tottenham Hotspur crest? And it's
Oh, Ange Postecoglou bending over.
And bending over after conceding the goal from Jamie Vardy. And then when Jamie Vardy was subbed, I thought it was glorious when he was giving it to Romero and reminding the whole of the Spurs stand how many Premier League trophies
Okay, well
Spurs have won.
we'll crack on with this fouled segment.
We'll do better next time.
Yeah, we'll do better. Must do better. That's, you know what? That's like going back to my school days. Must do better. See me as well. Yeah. Okay, so we'll try and source this season's Panini stickers, and we'll look to fulfil the book.
I suppose the context would be they probably wouldn't release it until the transfer window was closed, would they?
I don't know. I don't know. It's irrelevant, isn't it? I don't know.
Well, for example, if they've released it already and, you've got people like Marino potentially coming through the door for Arsenal.
By the way, Panini and Premier League, you've put 2024 in there. This is the year 2024.
Adam, you owe everyone an apology.
I am owed an apology.
No, you owe everyone an apology.
No, I don't owe no one an apology. I was missold. Have you seen the Leeds United calendar for this year?
No.
On the front cover, they've got Archie Gray.
Oh, all the players they've sold.
Somerville.
Oh, no.
And Rutter. And they've all gone.
Well, it's only going to be like Chelsea when Raheem goes.
No, Chelsea are putting two teams in the Premier League. They've got Chelsea A and Chelsea B.
Mate, they've got like a Chinese New Year calendar. The amount of months or whatever years they've got for all the players. Yeah. Anyway, so going on from one Adam-led disaster to another, let's talk about FPL teams.
I feel like you should take lead on this, actually.
Okay,
Adam.
I'll take the lead. Yeah. So, in the league, at the moment, with 38 points, is myself, and out of 17 people, I am joint bottom. But
with your mate?
With my mate. But just above me, it's got 12 points more than me, is Rob.
Yeah, I have got 56 points.
With Ryan and the Dragon.
Ryan the Dragon.
And amazingly, Callum, who's never played FPL, has got 63 points and he's in 8th after week 1.
Can I just say joint in 3 places? Three people in joint 8th.
Joint
as well.
in 3 places. But for the initial segment was that we was going to put a joint team together, and I averaged out the players as a set and forget, and we just completely, we did forget to change that squad to have more of an input. And the Dad's Ad Job squad, which is done by averages, is the team that's beating all of us with 65.
Yeah, set and forget United over there, isn't it?
Amazing. And surprisingly, by mistake, Wissa was captain and got 22 points. So FPL, again, it's another red pen mark across my own work. Must do better, and I will. So my only transfer I've done this week was taking Pickford out for Ederson, because I need to kind of shore up my defence, and that's all I could do, really.
Yeah. Do you want to go next, Cal?
Yeah, to be fair, I've actually got to do my transfers. It looks like Pedro from Tottenham's going to be injured, so even though he scored me 9 points last week for scoring a goal, thank you very much, mate. Cheers. So it looks like I'm going to have to maybe transfer him out. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my team. The up front sort of let me down. Watkins, I expected to maybe nick a few goals, or nick a goal, against West Ham. Can I just say, Rob, you spoke about Odegaard, pulling lines, I suppose, or pulling the string, at Arsenal. Yeah, he got 3 points. Like, so
that's what I mean about Premier League clubs setting up not to lose, sort of opening game week. So I think he's going to be a 3-digit player, point scorer in the season. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh no, I'm definitely keeping him. Don't worry about that.
I mean, for me, I got 56 points. I was disappointed because I do try and set myself a target of 60 points plus a week. Haaland and Salah proved me right. I'm glad I took them and put them back in my team because they delivered the points. Porro, Isak and Munoz bowed me out. And then I think from the other players, I've seen enough that I think I will be getting points for them. So people like Bruno, Pedro, and who was the other one? Anthony Gordon, I think will get me points over the course of the season. I think the main thing for me is that I'm going to have long-term defensive concerns. I already had to make a transfer early because Kwanzaa was going to drop in points to 4.4 million. I couldn't afford that, so I went early and brought in Hall from Newcastle. But it looks like he's going to be starting if defensive issues at Newcastle continue. So all in all, I'm happy, but I don't know what I'm going to do with my defence going forward. And that early wild card might be a thing. But other than that, I still feel pretty good about my team. Everyone else?
So Rob, what did you say? I was just trying to buy the Panini sticker album 2025.
I thought that was a very impassioned monologue, and you ignored it. So that's not very nice.
No, that's fair. Cal, do you got any comments on yours or?
Well, I think I've just swapped Pedro for Saliba. But then I'm thinking that might be a bad thing because I've just realised we've got Aston Villa. Obviously, well, we're talking about it. We've got Aston Villa, so. But I've thrown him in there. But let's see what happens.
Have you gone double Arsenal defence as well? That's a big call.
Yeah, I'm backing us.
Well,
3-0. 3-0 against Aston Villa. I'm having it.
Havertz Hattie.
Yeah, 100%.
Waka waka.
Okay, so following up from last week's predictions of the league and relegation and first sackings, let's do our cup predictions for this season. So, guys, who is your cup winner for the League Cup, which is the first cup up for grabs this year?
So, you're talking about a Carabao Cup, yeah? Yeah, so...
League Cup,
yeah. To clarify. So, when I did this last week, I like to be quite, controversial. I thought it would be a club that you wouldn't have thought. So, let's be honest, everyone thinks it's going to be a Premiership club. So, I was looking at the Championship and I thought, do you know what? Leeds are gonna go and win it. I've got a feeling that an underdog's going to go and win the Carabao Cup. And they got battered by Middlesbrough. So...
Who?
Middlesbrough. Thank you, cheers. I've had a wine. So I've...
What's the name of that defender? Who was that defender you were trying to put in your team last week? Mikolenko.
That's it, Mikolenko, yeah. So, I can't...
Mikolenko.
Mikolenko, that's it. You can't even say it, look.
I said Mikolenko because that's what you said, you dip.
Okay, well. So anyway, I thought Leeds, and obviously they got battered, so I've got Middlesbrough. Because they battered Leeds. So I think Middlesbrough's going to win the Carling Cup. Yeah, what about you, Rob?
So I'm laughing, but this could all be true. This could all be true.
I have, well, sometimes I think common sense needs to prevail, and because they seem to be the only team in the top 6 that genuinely takes this competition seriously, I have gone for Manchester City. Okay. Because they take it seriously every year.
So did Chelsea, though. You
no, I know it's boring, but it's boring because it's close to fact. And I do think Manchester City will win it because they are the most prolific team in recent years for the Carabao Cup. And winners win. And I just think they'll win it.
Okay. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'll go on with Liverpool.
Why?
Just because it's Liverpool. No, I think Arne Slot is obviously coming to Liverpool with a proven track record in winning trophies in Holland. I think the Liverpool squad that he's got, he's not added to it, which is surprising. He's just picked up the mantle from Klopp, got them playing in a nice style of football, and a couple of few additions, 2 or 3 additions towards the end of the window might put them in good stead. So I'll say Liverpool, and they've been pretty much known as a team that performs well in the League Cup. Yeah, was they got the semi-finals last year, didn't they?
I think so. I think Liverpool are as good a shout as Man City. I can see both teams winning it. I don't think Middlesbrough are going to win it, mate. I like him. I like Michael Carrick, but
no, listen, underdog. I'm having it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm throwing it out there.
Right. From one underdog to another, FA Cup.
I actually went for Newcastle, and the reason, and I made this prediction last week, but we didn't get round to it. But having had a week to sit on it and then look at some of the business that Newcastle are trying to do, I really like Pope, Livramento, Shaw, Gahey if they get him, and then Hall. And then if you're looking at people like Guimaraes in front of them, Gordon, Isak, I think there's a lot to be excited about at Newcastle. They got close and they didn't quite get there last time. I just think that if we're going for someone who maybe is a little bit outside the box in comparison to your Manchester City and your Liverpools, I think Newcastle would be a shout. And like I said as well, I think Howe has to do something this year. Otherwise, it's his head. So I'm going to predict Newcastle.
Also, can I just say, Gahey, if they can get that over the line, I think that is going to make a massive difference. Because I think he was outstanding in the Euros. Like, so much so that I could see him going to a big club.
He's good.
And I know Newcastle, are pushing to be that big club. But if they get him over the line, I think that will make massive.
I think he was complemented pretty well with John Stones as his partner. I mean, who his partner will be, who his partner will be at Crystal Palace is unknown, and who his partner will be at his future club, if we're talking Newcastle, is unknown. So
I think that'd be a fantastic signing.
Yeah, it'd be a good signing. I think he needs someone else with him.
Yeah, I agree. But I think he really was exceptional during the.
Oh, they got Botman, didn't they?
So that's what I was about. I was literally just checking it up. I said Shah. What I meant to say was Gahey and Botman is very exciting.
Yeah.
And then you've got Bruno Guimaraes, who I don't think will be sold this summer, regardless of potential speculative links. I think that is a very exciting team. And there's just so much. If Anthony Gordon doesn't leave, because I know there's been rumours about him and Liverpool because he's a Liverpool fan, that's a really good team, isn't it? And if that team doesn't do it, then I think it will be Eddie Howe's head.
Yep.
And also, can I just say, you talk about fan bases that deserve.
No one deserves anything.
No, but they have got an extremely fan base up there, and if they could go on and win something with this squad, oh my god, could you imagine the players, and also with the backing they have got, who they could then draw in off if they do win something?
Yeah.
Would it could really push them forward, but
yeah,
it could be exciting for the is it Northeast up there?
Yeah,
massively exciting. So FA Cup, I've gone for, obviously last week I said I can see Man City or Liverpool win the league, and I think Arsenal will drop off because I just think competing at that elite, even though I think Arsenal are elite, but that elite level each week, year in year out, I do feel we might drop off it. But I put Arsenal winning in the FA Cup.
That's what I've done.
Yeah.
That's what I predicted as well. Yeah,
I think it's crucial for, again, you talk about Eddie Howe winning something and that he could get the old tin tack and or it could be his time up. But I think if Arsenal do not win something this year, we will see an exit of certain players, because we have got players that deserve to win and are playing to win. And I think if we do not win, we will start seeing people like Saliba, Odegaard, them big names going, and it does massively put fear into me. And I do think we need to win something, and I think the FA Cup will be one off what we're going to win this year.
Well, we're the most decorated FA Cup side in history, and I'm really proud of that because I love the FA Cup. But I do agree with you. I don't know if the FA Cup will be the deciding factor in that. I think it would need to be a Premier League or a Champions League, if I'm being honest. But I am with you. I think that people like Saliba particularly are here for a fun time, not a long time. And I think we have to enjoy people like Saliba while we have them, because I do think his destiny is etched in Spain. I don't like to say it, but I do believe it, and I could see him at Real Madrid. And then you also talk about people like Odegaard, who maybe have unfinished business in Spain and things like that. So I do have the fear of losing players. And so I think this season is very important. I'm just not sure if the FA Cup will be the thing that keeps them. I think it would need to be a Premier League or a Champions League.
Okay, let's go straight onto Europe then. So we'll do all this as a combined trio. Okay. So you've got Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. So I'll go first. My Champions League winners this year will be Real Madrid, because why wouldn't they be? Because they've got Mbappe. Yeah, it's the Man City of the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
They've got Bellingham, and they've just improved by having Mbappe. Europa League for me will be Porto, because I've got a little soft spot for Porto, growing up and following them, and I think they're a fantastic European club. And Conference League, just because they have to win it, they're entitled to win it, and if they don't win it, there's questions again needs to be asked, and that's Chelsea.
Yeah, so to follow that up, I agree with you. It would be an embarrassment if they don't win it, and I have predicted Chelsea to win the Conference League.
Yeah.
And then it probably shows this probably shows my arrogance about English football, but I've predicted Man United to win the Europa League, and I've predicted Man City to win the Champions League.
Okay.
And they are boring picks, but because when you look at the magnitude of the clubs and you look at the quality of the competition that in those competitions, it's hard. And other than Real Madrid, the Europa League was easier to choose, I'll be honest. But Man City, I just think they're juggernauts right now, and I think they're going to be out for blood, and they're going to want retribution for not winning the Champions League last year. So that's why I've gone for them this year.
Okay.
So I'm going to be boring to start off with. I think Chelsea will win the Conference League. I think that will.
So that's a 3 out of 3.
Yeah, I do.
They have to.
Yeah,
they have
I
to,
think,
don't they?
Yeah, and I think that will be. And I say this in sense of being exciting for years to come. I think if they win that will then kickstart them to be more challengers for Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. Have Chelsea thrown in there. Well, again, it just boosts the whole Premier League as being the best league in the world. And I just think if they win that, again, it puts them on a front foot in years to come. Europa League, I've gone for Roma.
Yep.
I just think they've always been in and around with all the big Europe Cups, and I don't know, I just fancy them.
Well,
I generally,
Conference League winners, Europa League finalists.
Yeah, I just got a feeling that I look at the names, I think
they've got good European pedigree, haven't they?
Yeah, a bit like Porto, Bayern Munich. Them clubs sort of just turn up, and you can't dismiss them really. And going off what Rob obviously mentioned earlier about FA Cup not being enough, I agree it probably won't be enough, and I reckon that Arsenal will do the double, and I reckon Arsenal will win the double this year, and it will be the FA Cup, and I think it will be the Champions League. I actually think Arteta won't like that. I don't think that will be enough for Arteta, because I think generally he wants to win the league, and I think that is his biggest prize. But I do think he will be the man who, one, will get the double this year, FA Cup and Champions League, but I think he will be the manager in his reign that will bring the first ever Champions League trophy home for Arsenal. And I think it's going to be this year, and I think we'll do the double this year.
Interesting stuff. Okay. So we've got a question from a listener, and his name is Stephen Fisher. Stephen is a regular listener to the pod, long-time listener, first-time caller, loves the pod, and he said, nice to hear it's common sense from a couple of Arsenal fans. So on that basis, so Stephen has asked, why do you think so many fans, pundits and the media appear to be unfazed by the allegations against Manchester City's 115 charges? In any other sport, the perception of cheating is highly condemned and huge news. For instance, Conor Benn, Lance Armstrong. But there isn't the same level of anger aimed at City. Why is that?
Well, first of all, I think it's fantastic that he's a long-time listener after 2 pods. So thank you very much for that.
To be fair, he's listened to me rabble on for 6.5 years, so it feels like a podcast.
But I also think if we're trying to be impartial, because it's hard not to be emotionally invested when you're in the Premier League as Arsenal fans or West Ham fans, I do think there's a chance that we might be comparing apples and oranges, because we're talking about financial doping and then medicated doping. These are dopings that were proven to be true and were enhancing the physical abilities of athletes when they were performing. What we are talking about with the 115 charges for Man City, we don't actually know where they stand with that, because nothing has started yet, and it's also very difficult to comment on. And I think that's probably where a lot of media outlets are unable to comment, because it's hard to know what they're commenting on without perhaps stepping on legal loopholes. And then the other part would be fans have gone quiet on it. They absolutely have not. Spend half an hour on Twitter and you will find someone talking about 115 somewhere. But as I say, in regards to the media outlets, I'm not really sure what they can say, because everything is hearsay at the moment until it goes through court and there's some sort of process that's taken place. So that would be what I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think you can't really say much until you're innocent until proven guilty. And I think when you hear media and pundits and fans come out and talk is when if they're proven guilty, what they're given. For instance, Everton, they've had their points taken away. And I think pretty much most fans were pretty satisfied with the fact that they were it's been proven they've had their points taken away, and justice is served. I think as long as it's done fairly, and whatever the consequences are, if there are any, are fair and in line. I think a lot of fans will agree with that. The only thing I will throw out is that it doesn't it won't change. for instance, if they come out and say all these charges are true, it doesn't take away their trophies, and they're not going to say you haven't won this and won that. I think a lot of fans will just be like, well, for me it will still be they won the season. They won the Premier League. 4 out of 5. We won't look at it as they cheated it at the end of the day. They won the league. Do you know what I mean? So for me going forward, it's they're still the team to beat.
There's always that question though, isn't it? That a game of football still has to be played, but if you've been able to spend £50 million on a player to improve your squad constantly, where other teams are having to spend 2.5 or being restricted because of the finances that they got, then that game of football comes into dispute because those players shouldn't have been there in the first place. It is always. I'd like to think, everything still has to be won on the pitch, but there is a certain sense of influence that's being. The allegations are indicating that there has been an unfair advantage on that. But it's a valid point, isn't it?
The thing is, right, you make a good point, and I suppose this is what people are going to be talking about is, Arsenal finished second. Would they award the Premier League to Arsenal? I don't think most. I'm not talking for all Arsenal fans,
but they do it in Italy, don't they?
No, I agree. Yeah, but
so
would you want it? Would you want to go? Oh yeah, Arsenal got it on the.
Honestly, no.
No,
but I would take it just so I could. Do you know what? I would use it just to annoy people in arguments about, but we're 5-time Premier League winners, aren't we? I would use it just because
with an asterisk.
With an asterisk, of course, but it's the type of thing that I would use to rub someone up the wrong way. Yeah. Like, how many Premier League titles have Tottenham got? 0. Arsenal got 5. That's the only time I'm going to use it, because otherwise, like Callum says...
It's like Liverpool winning the trophy during COVID and not being able to celebrate in front of their fans. It's that sort of...
Arsenal won their 14th or 15th with no fans, didn't they? So, you can still enjoy those moments, but it's just like...
It's history, innit? It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's about moments, isn't it? And, Man City are having their moment at the moment, and arguably if it's right or wrong, that goes down to lawyers. But at the end of the day, for me, it doesn't change it. Because, for me, they're still going to be the team to beat no matter what. Arguably they've got the best manager in the world at the moment. I still think Arteta's going to be up there. I think personally, the years going forward, he is going to be the best manager, and I think he rivals him, and arguably he does, because obviously we're pushing them last 2 seasons, but for me it's they get their punishment and we move forward, and hopefully.
If they are proven to be...
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
If they're proven to be wrong. For me, it's about winning games, and I used to play, I played a bit of football, and it's you play whoever and you try and beat whoever's on the pitch at the time, and you don't worry about the politics of it, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. I think there's one thing that has to be considered in this, is that the Premier League are really at an awkward position, aren't they? Because they're the institution that's allowed, say, ownerships like that to go through with the Fit and Proper Persons Act. It doesn't just apply to Man City. We're not digging you out. Like, you've got fantastic fans, and you've been on one hell of a ride, being in the old Division 3 with Paul Dickoff at playoff finals against Gillingham, and like we recognise that. We know what sort of club you are. But it's also ownerships of, for instance, Chelsea, the Roman Abramovich era, and again the Fit and Proper Persons Act. That Roman Abramovich was allegedly part of a train robbers union in Russia to steal stuff off a train and then sell it back to the Russian government for 4 times the profit, which is apparently how he made his money. And that will be the last thing I say on Russian politics forever, because I don't ever want to have a target over my head. But I think when you've got those sort of people owning clubs, and then the money that they're generating to fuel success is always going to come under question. But the Premier League, I think, is the ones that have to be questioned more because they've allowed it and they've profited off that as much as the club has in terms of success. Because without Chelsea being the first club to spend £100 million in a transfer window, what other league in the world would have a club that would be able to do that other than the obvious, than Real Madrid and Barcelona? There's not many, and I think the Premier League has benefited from those clubs being able to bring world-class players to the league. So I think there's a lot of things like that has to be considered in that, like Man City have got the world's best striker Erling Haaland playing up front for him. Chelsea brought in a plethora of stars like Crespo. They bought Varane off Man United and Shevchenko. All these. Well, and then they bought Ballack, Drogba, and these stars would never ever have gone to Chelsea if they didn't have that money. Yeah, they would never have gone there. But then Chelsea would have never reaped the benefits of winning the amount of Champions Leagues that they've had, and we're going through that phase with them again now, aren't we? In terms of the amount of money spent, almost £2 billion on players.
But we've also been blessed with that.
I think Arsenal have done it.
I mean us as fan base.
Oh, fan base.
I'm saying
sorry,
that.
I thought it was
I mean,
club.
You talk about watching these players. It used to be we would watch them, playing in the Spanish league.
Yeah.
Like we've been blessed to
But
have.
if you're on the other end of it, it's not, and you're on the losing side of it. Like, how many times have Arsenal missed opportunities in Europe or opportunities in the cup against Chelsea, for instance? And
Drogba.
And you should have.
You want to talk about it? Let's talk about Drogba. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Growing up, Drogba used to be like one of our bloody
nemesis, wasn't it?
Yeah, like he used to be. He used to score goals, and we'd be like, "Oh, for God, Drogba again." I mean, we went and watched him one time. I think he scored 2 goals against us.
2 goals.
Yeah, and do you know what? I was sitting there going, I'd love him to play for Arsenal. You love to hate someone,
he probably
was
could have played for
exceptional.
Arsenal. And he could have played for Arsenal if it wasn't for that ownership at Chelsea.
The best example.
Again, they're not digging Chelsea fans out.
No.
Again, you're just enjoying the ride because of what's happening. We can't change the situation. But again, from an outsider point of view, non-Chelsea hat on, not West Ham or not Arsenal, no rivalry attached to it. Like, the overall picture of it is that there is an unfair advantage of it. I mean, Chelsea have even gone to the lengths early on when they were tapping up Ashley Cole.
Well, not even Ashley Cole. Arsenal
buying your best players. Like, Arsenal should not be in a position to sell their best players to Chelsea and Man City.
No, and that happened a lot. And do you know what it did? We lost so many players to. We lost Ashley Cole, obviously.
I think there's more behind the Ashley Cole. I've heard a few interviews where I don't think he was very well treated or valued, and you could see the decline in the club, and he left. I think, it's just unfortunate because he wasn't invincible. He was a scholar boy, a kid at Arsenal. I think, I know a lot of Arsenal fans will hate me for saying this, but a lot of people think he turned his back on the club. But I, from interviews I've heard, that's not fully the case. I think, he wasn't 100% looked after in his opinion, obviously.
I think I remember one of the things. I think he got offered 60 grand a week, and it wasn't in line with the other like high performers in the team. And he was a bit like, well, why? Why am I not being paid the same as?
Yeah.
But I mean,
what a player though.
Oh yeah,
regardless for Arsenal or Chelsea
Yeah.
or for England, what a player! Like,
or for Roma.
You talk about
or Derby.
You talk about you
Actually, no.
At some point, we will talk about our all-time Premier League teams. I'm guessing.
Ashley Cole probably makes all 3, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, not going to lie to you, like he has made that fullback position what it is today. I mean, he is exceptional, the fella. So
I'd even go as far as he was England's best ever left back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is what the point is, isn't it? I think like the question is asked that is the media being too restrictive of it. Like, again, there may be a cease and desist on there for anything to be spoken about it until it's proven in court. But until we know that, then we'll probably get more clarification in the news. But from a fan's point of view, you know, what's Man City going to do? Like, sue me for my house or whatever? I don't own it, mate. But
I mean, in my
come at me,
opinion,
bruv.
in my opinion, I think, you know, the old saying, when the hits the fan, I think there will be lots said, and rightly so, and I think there'll be a lot explained. And when that happens,
yeah,
you know, everyone's going to have a point of view on it, and rightly so. And I think, you know, that's also, I think, what's going to be holding over this season, because we're all hoping as fans and as, you know, just sports fans and football fans in general, is what is going to happen at the end of this season when it is all put to dust, and we can all move forward in that sense, and say that is one that we will talk about when we really know what's going on.
Yeah. I think the overall, whether Man City are charged and they're relegated, or Chelsea are charged after that, because they've got apparently over 60 alleged breaches as well. I think whatever happens, I think the finger will always go back to the Premier League, and whatever happens thereafter is going to have a major impact on that league, and we might not see the amount of money that comes in anymore. I think it's a sad time that it's had to get to this, because all this is doing now is, if Man City are proven innocent, then this kind of opens up a free rein for any club to do what they want to do. Next, Newcastle. You know, Newcastle, like we just spoke about earlier, fantastic, salt of the earth fans, not had a trophy since the early 50s, I believe. It was the Fairs Cup or something. And they deserve a trophy. We say they deserved some success, and we're not going to be the ones to take that away from them. But you've got to do it in the right way. You can't just spend £1 billion to compete for a Premier League. It's just not.
But they haven't yet.
No, they're restricted for the PSR rules. Yeah. So once those rules are proven to be defunct, then that's when we'll start seeing a free-for-all, and money's just going to be splashed. And if that happens, then that's when you're going to see more clubs go and fold. Like we've just seen recently a very historic French club fold recently in Bordeaux, because they can't afford it, and they're suffering because of the investment at PSG, the investment again in Marseille. You know, and a club like that, a club has won the French league probably in the last 20 years, has folded because of that. So that's the bigger picture of it. That's what I'm worried about. Do you punish one club, or do you punish the other 91 in the Football League? Okay, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week. Have a good week, everyone.
Just so you know, I'm throwing out there, but I probably will be top of the FPL. So no pressure.